The anxiety and constant stress of feeling that you're always just one misstep away from disaster, frankly, sucks. But what if I told you the rules of that game were actually rigged against you? That living paycheck to paycheck isn't your fault, but a symptom of a system that you can learn to outsmart so you can break the cycle, gain peace of mind, and start living today. Let's lock in. We've all been there. You get that payday notification, and for a glorious 48 hours, you feel like a financial god. That new tech gadget? Yes. The DoorDash splurge with friends? Absolutely. The limited edition sneakers? Don't even get me started. And then Monday hits. You look at your bank account, and the balance is lower than your motivation on a Monday morning. The panic sets in. The ramen noodles come out. Welcome back to the cycle. The soul-crushing, anxiety-ridden, never-ending cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. Now I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's easy. I know the student loans are calling, the rent is a mythically high number, and financial FOMO is a real thing. Scrolling through social media, it feels like everyone else is living their best life, dropping cash on trips and new clothes. But guess what? A lot of them are on the same hamster wheel as you, just with a prettier filter. This video isn't about becoming a millionaire overnight. It's about being able to sleep at night by building a financial foundation that is strong enough to handle life's curveballs. The unexpected expenses. It's about building a new system, brick by brick, that finally gets you off this loop. And with today's 21st century tools, this is easier to do than ever before. So let's get started. A lot of finance people call this budgeting, and I get it. That word sounds like it was invented by a beige-wearing robot. We're not doing that. We're creating a money map. Think of it like a game. You need to know your resources and where the obstacles are if you want to win. First things first, you need to see where your money's actually going. For the next 2 weeks, you're going to become a data analyst for a very important company. You Incorporated. Download a budgeting app like Rocket Money or Monarch. These apps do all the heavy lifting for you, auto-categorizing your transactions so you can see exactly where every single dollar vanishes. You'll probably see a lot of subscriptions and food delivery. No judgment, just data. And speaking of data, be vigilant. As a former data analyst myself, we always said, crap in, crap out. Meaning, if the data isn't correct or up to date, the analysis isn't going to be very accurate or helpful. Once the 2 weeks are up, I want you to do a simple but effective exercise that may just blow your mind. Using the calculator on your phone, go through your spending and add up the totals of all of your unused subscriptions, food deliveries, and anything else you probably could have done without. Then add that total to the current balance of your bank account. This will show you how much higher your balance would be if you hadn't spent that money. I call this a ghost balance because it haunted me for days. Seeing this number in real life does two things psychologically. First, it shows you that it's actually possible to change your life and that you can literally start today. Second, you'll likely think back to that moment and it'll give you pause the next time you're faced with a spending decision. Now for the money map itself. A solid framework is the 50-30-20 rule. It's like a cheat code for your budget. 50% of your budget should go to needs. This is the stuff that keeps you alive. Rent, utilities, groceries, gas, and yes, your phone. The non-negotiables. 30% may go to wants. This is your fun money. That concert ticket, a night out, the latest video game. It's important to have a life, so don't cut this out. Just be mindful. And finally, 20% should go to savings and debt. This is the money that sets you free. This is where you put your money to work for you. Remember, this isn't a strict diet, it's a guide. If your rent takes up 60 or even 70% of your paycheck, don't panic. Just adjust the other categories accordingly. The point is to be intentional, not restrictive. This is where you automate your finances, so your money starts working even when you're not thinking about it. The most important rule of money, pay yourself first. On payday, before you pay anyone else, Transfer money directly from your checking account to your savings or investment account. Most banks let you set up an automatic transfer. Just set it and forget it. And since this isn't 2009, a must-have, if you're serious about breaking the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, is a micro-investing app like Acorns. It takes your spare change from purchases and invests it automatically. It's like a video game where your character just gets stronger in the background while you're playing the main quest. Talk about a cheat code. Now, if you've got high-interest credit card debt, that's your final boss. The interest you're paying is a financial vampire sucking the life out of your future earnings. There are two good strategies to attack this debt: the Debt Snowball or the Debt Avalanche. The Debt Snowball method is when you list your debts, smallest to largest. Pay the minimum on all of them, and throw all extra cash at the smallest one. The psychological win of seeing a debt disappear is super motivating. Once the smallest debt is paid off, you roll the amount you were paying toward it into your payment for the next smallest debt, and so on. Once you've paid off all of your credit card debt, you take the amount that you were paying every month to credit cards and add it to the money you're automatically transferring straight to your savings. Take a moment to think about how it would feel to have this money sitting in your savings account today. The Debt Avalanche method is when you list your debts from highest interest rate to lowest, attacking the highest interest one first. This saves you the most money in the long run. So how do you choose which one is right for you? Well, the best strategy is the one you will actually stick with. Here are some things to consider. Paying off a debt quickly provides a psychological win and a dopamine boost that encourages you to stick with your plan. And the positive reinforcement from eliminating smaller debts helps build the consistency and habits needed to tackle larger balances. Use the snowball method if you need momentum and motivation from quick wins to stay on track. The Debt Avalanche method saves the most money because mathematically, this is the most efficient way to pay off debt. Use the avalanche method if you're disciplined and motivated by mathematical efficiency. If you have significant high-interest debts, this will save you the most money in the long run. The downside is if your highest interest debt is also your largest, it can feel like a slow process with a long time before you see your first debt eliminated. This can make it harder for some to stay committed to the plan since it requires more patience. You must remain disciplined and focused on the long-term goal even when progress feels slow. The key is to find what works best for your personality and financial situation. An emergency fund is your armor against the sudden car repair or medical bill. Ideally, the goal is to build up 3 to 6 months of living expenses. I know that sounds impossible right now, so just start small. Get to $500. It's an achievable mini quest that gives you a massive sense of security. Once you hit $500, lock in on $1,000. Keep locking in and leveling up. The mistake that too many people who are trying to get out of the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle make is that their emergency fund is that in name only. This emergency fund is not for a new PlayStation or a vacation or even more weekend spending money. It's your break glass in case of fire money. We can only cut expenses so much, so let's quickly talk about leveling up your income. For Gen Z and millennials, the side hustle is the norm, not the exception. And I'll dive deeper into some great side hustles in a later video, but for now, I just want to make one very important point. And this is key, so I can't emphasize this enough, because this is why even people who increase their income still find themselves living paycheck to paycheck. See, it's not just about making more money, it's about financial resilience. Any extra cash you get from your side hustle, Don't use it to buy more random stuff or to order in more. Use it to supercharge your debt payments or to fill up that emergency shield faster. Social media is a highlight reel of everyone else's spending habits. It's a constant pressure cooker, making you feel like you're falling behind. You might be familiar with the term loud budgeting, which encourages individuals to be open, vocal, and unapologetic about their financial goals and limitations. Instead of saying, "Nah, I'm busy," say, "Hey, I'm saving up for something, so I'm going to skip dinner this time." It normalizes the conversation and can create a healthier dynamic with your friends. Chances are, some of them are probably feeling the same way, and who knows, you might inspire them to start turning their financial situation around. And here's a tip for the impulse buy trigger. The 24-hour rule. If you see something you want and it's not a true need, force yourself to wait 24 hours. Put it in your cart, walk away, and come back a day later. You'll be surprised how often that desire just vanishes. A little mental trick that I find helpful is the next time you're faced with a spending decision, open the calculator on your phone and deduct the cost of the item from your bank account balance. More often than not, this is where you'll realize it's not worth it. And as a bonus step, after deciding not to buy the item, you can transfer the amount that you would have spent to your high-yield savings. Now, that's locked in. So we've reviewed how to map our money, automate our savings, tackle debt, and build an emergency fund. We've also learned to ignore the digital noise that makes us feel bad about our finances. This is not a quick fix. This is a complete system overhaul. It takes time and consistency, but every single small win, every automatic transfer, every high-interest debt paid off builds momentum, confidence, and security. There are systemic economic and societal factors that make it disproportionately difficult for Gen Z and millennials to build wealth compared to previous generations. While past generations faced challenges, the economic cards were more favorable to building wealth through a traditional path of education, a full-time job, and home ownership, since they could often rely on consistent wage growth and more affordable housing. Gen Z and millennials inherited a system where the cost of entry to these same milestones is significantly higher, since you face a more challenging landscape defined by stagnant real wages, crushing debt, and a high cost of living. This requires more effort and strategic thinking to achieve the same results. You can take control. You're not a victim of the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. You are a participant in your own financial future. So tell me, what's your next move? Start the money map, download a new app, drop a comment below, and let's start this conversation together. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content to help you get locked in.